Okay, assalamu alaikum. This is Clifton Raheem Bradley. You're looking at the Underground Railroad television show. We come on every Saturday night at 10:30. And what we're going to be talking about today is artificial intelligence. They probably define what artificial intelligence is. And will it affect your life? I'm going to let them introduce themselves, Dr. Lee Warren and Mr. Reginald Johnson. So, thank you for accepting the invitation.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Lee Warren from the PLEM Show, founder and executive of PLEM, The Power Latent in Man. We come on TV every Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30 on Channel 36, reshow on Thursday morning from 10:30 to 11:30. And you can contact us at 773-509-8124, or go to our website. That's PLIM, PLIM2, the number 2, PLIM2.org. And we do have an article that I wrote, I think about a year or two ago, about the impact of AI and artificial intelligence.
Okay. This is my coffee buddy right there. Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
my name is Reginald Johnson. I'm Assistant Chief of Water Operations for the City of Chicago. I'm currently at the the Sawyer filtration plant at 79th Street. I'm also a certified FAA drone pilot. I'm a accomplished bass player. I play in 6 jazz bands. And
What's the name of the band, man?
I got a bunch of them. JEM-G Garage Band. That's a up-and-coming jazz band.
Okay.
I also play with an 18-piece band called Generations Big Band.
Oh, George. You know what? This is going to be about artificial intelligence. And can you give people, both of y'all, that don't even know what artificial intelligence is, because y'all give y'all the basis of what artificial intelligence is?
Artificial intelligence is the ability of robots to learn what humans does, to reproduce basically most humans' interaction. You know, that's being able to read, run, everything that a human can be. So then they can outthink a human faster. All this is computer. All you gotta do is look at an android. It's a human robot, that's look like a human form, and it has the ability to learn at the same rate of a human being. You know, he can speak various languages. All this stuff is pre-programmed, and then they can learn through the interaction with computers and man.
Okay,
Yeah, because like they seem like there's some of the programs they have now. Like, say for instance, like we were talking like let's see, we were just talking about this particular robot they having out here now. It's going to try to replace a human soldier.
That's right.
And it's going to do any kind of these machines going to have to make the decisions on their own.
Right.
Now the danger to everybody is going to be when these machines become self-conscious.
That's right.
And available to think for themselves. And the first thing that's going to come into wherever their collective thoughts is, what do we need you humans for?
I agree. And you know what? There's a big thing going on with the United States of America. They do not want to use Huawei. I think that Huawei is a telecommunications company in China that has revolutionized 5G. 5G will make your phone faster, your computer faster. Can y'all explain 5G, and is the United States doing the right thing by not wanting to utilize this upgraded system?
That's an easy one. Say for instance, like I have 3 drones made by one single Chinese company called DJI. And one thing about it, this thing is so regulated with the government. If I try to fly with a narrow airport, it won't fly.
Okay.
It has geofencing, has GPS ranging, things like that. It won't even take off. Washington D.C., it won't even take off at all. You can forget it. And what happens is wherever this thing goes, it's always tracked.
Okay.
And I have flight records that's actually on my phone, on my computer, and they're the company headquarters in DJI to determine where this drone is. And what you're talking about, the government is scared that the Huawei, since they're a Chinese company, they're going to use them. they're going to use them actually to spy on the United States.
That's
the
correct.
greatest fear.
No, would you think they would do that?
Yes, they
Okay.
would. They do it all the time.
Okay.
You'll be surprised. And the United States been exporting their technology to China for years because they're trying to get around the labor costs. And so what the Chinese did was,
Sure.
hey, if you're gonna send all your work over here, send us the technology to make it.
That's
and
right.
in fact, that gave them a leg up. Why should you do any research when we're gonna send it? Where you gonna give it to you?
That's right.
What's your comment about Howie? I hope that I'm pronouncing the name right.
Yeah, well,
Well, it's
we
a
know.
Chinese company, and the problem is national security. Excuse me. The problem is national security, and they don't want all those chips and stuff in the various American industry because they don't know exactly what's in them. So at one time, if we had to go to war, which we probably will go to war with China, ain't no question about that, just a matter of time. So they can just touch a button and you know what that means. Everything. If they'd have made the chip, you don't understand the total design of what's in it, and most of the software. That means that when we go to war, well, we could sabotage you.
But when you say get the information, isn't Howie a private company?
Yeah, it's a private company, but those chips and everything that are in everything. You got a chip in your iPhone. You got it all over.
Yeah.
And you know, and what they're looking at is 5G is really what that's all it is just microwave, low microwave. We used to have it in service. It's much higher than that. Microwave where they carry a lot of information. See, microwave is a band. You got to have a carrier band. It carries tons of information. Where it makes 4G look like almost like you a Model T Ford.
Yeah.
You know, him being an engineer, he said they're beyond 4G. I think that's what you said.
Oh yeah, that's 5G. They already got 6G. I mean,
Well,
what's
5G, they're coming up with 6G.
6G, but 5G is what's introduced to the general public.
Gonna
throughout
be
the
the
world.
next one.
And you know something, would you say that Donald Trump is right about the tariff wars with the United States, with China? That they are stealing intellectual property and manufacturing things and using the Nike's name or somebody else's name to put in their system. Would you say that Donald Trump is right
Listen,
with the tariff wars?
They knew from Jump Street with those Chinese, they have the ability, Chinese as a culture has the ability to copy. And they're very industrial people. They don't quit. They have a long history of 1,000 years ruling Asia.
3,000.
Yeah, thousands of years of ruling. So you're not dealing with, that makes most African nations look petty compared to what's happened in the East, because they were ruling for thousands of years. I mean, at a high technology level. We ain't talking about nobody living in no huts and running around with no spears. We talking about high technology and metallurgy that they had. So the dragon has means of also controlling the world. So you got two hegemony. United States, which has already been ruling the world for about, for a good that's World War II. Yeah. And you got the Chinese. And since we gave the Chinese the stuff for cheap labor and stuff, what they say, okay, we'll work as a slave. But we ain't gonna be like the Negro. we're gonna take all your information and we're gonna build our own factories, and then we're gonna take this technology and train our engineers, and you know what? We're going to creep up on your butt.
And that's what they're going to do. And exactly, and they're doing it now.
Doing it right now.
You got all these Chinese students in these U.S. universities. What do you think they're there for?
That's right.
And see, what China is, they have everybody in China is a government, is an agent for the Chinese government.
That's right.
They come for you. I don't care if they got billionaires, they got millionaires. China is actually a capitalist country.
That's right.
But they're a communist country. But they rule by capitalism. And the thing is, when they come for you, look, I want you, when you go over to the United States, send all this information back you can. And that's what they do.
So that's what this cloud is all about that they're talking about. This cloud is storing information, and it's being intrusive on our lives. I'm talking about the internet cloud.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly totally understand it, but maybe y'all do.
It's its ability to store vast amounts of information and compute. In other words, you got a large company like IBM or let's say ABC, and then you store all the stuff in a big storage computer. And then it would compute a lot of the information. You don't even have to have nobody in your office to do this. It would do it all on the cloud and then send the information to you. So it's a way of cutting costs down, and they don't have to build as many computers. It's all centralized, basically.
What,
Yeah,
you know what? I would like to ask both of y'all, economically, and we talk about technology. How can we compete with China if their living wages are totally different they're making less money? So how could you compete and export products?
You can't
if you
compete
can
with
produce them at a lower lower
You can't
price.
compete with them. If
Yeah,
you
well.
look over in China, you look at Shanghai, you look at Canton, all those big cities over there. You see all those huge skyscrapers. Who in the hell money you think that is?
I'm listening.
Whose money is that? That's our damn money we done shipped over there. So they done caught us. In other words, they say, okay, we'll make everything you want. We'll make everything you want.
And even Steve Jobs said himself. Obama asked Steve Jobs, "Can you get to build the iPhone in the United States?" Steve Jobs said, "No. The assembly line for an iPhone is something like 225,000 people."
Yeah.
And you said there's not even cities in Chicago in the United States got more than 225,000 people. They said in 6 months they had that assembly line up. They had even found 8,000 product control engineers to supervise the product.
That's right.
So you're saying we cannot compete economically
Don't have the
with China?
population. Remember, they got 1/3 of the world's population.
That's right.
1/3 or 1/4, 1 billion people. India is number 2.
But this is where we come out. Remember, as far as engineers, it's only the top 10%. They have more engineers, but this is the top 10%.
Yeah.
We talk about MIT, CIT, Stanford, all these, the top 10%.
Yeah.
You know what that top 10%? That's the top 10% that also that controls most of the wealth in this country. See, so we are what you call creativity. They're trying to catch up. They do most of the engineering work, but now we're ahead in certain fields. We're way ahead of them. But as far as educational system, they're way ahead of us. The average, I'm on an average level, but our top 10% is the lead of the world. But everything else is so damn dumbed down. You need people, Americans especially, and when you come to black and brown people, oh man, they out of it. I tell one of my friends, what do you think about it? I said, it's over for them.
Not to mention some of these Trump supporters out too, because I've seen some dummies. They believe, and it's the thing, I really seen them. They don't know anything.
That's right, you got to remember, people that voted for Trump, the top third, the bottom third of most the whites, they voted for him. Yeah. Because they're just as illiterate technically as African Americans, and they don't know they're all in the same bag.
Well, you know what President Johnson said though. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, you don't have to pick his pockets. He'll empty your pockets for him. It's an ego thing. That's
right.
That's what it is. Well, we're getting off the prop. But see the thing, we're getting off topic now. Now, see the thing about artificial intelligence though, and then with all this robotics, I tell people all the time, you should go into trade now or go into robotics.
That's it.
Hydraulics, because already McDonald's and a lot of these places are going to start cutting. It's going to be so automated. It's going to be ridiculous. You go to the kiosk, you push a few buttons, and the thing was they got a burger making machine. I'm trying to remember who the company was. They actually all you got to do is pour a raw hamburger in there.
That's right.
And fill up the containers. This thing will pat out the patties.
That's right.
It will cook them.
That's right.
It'll toast the bread and the condiments to it and package and drop it in the bin. It'll do 360 burgers an hour.
But and that's going to eliminate a whole lot of jobs. But do you think that robots can enhance the world? But do you think that they can actually help people that are elderly?
Yes, they do. They already have. I'm going to tell you. Well, I'm going to say, for instance, like they already have the exoskeletons out here now.
That's right.
You just put yourself in that thing, and even though you're a quadriplegic, you can walk. If you like, say for instance, like you can move your fingers or something.
That's right.
Or push a thumb, and every time you push a thumb, the thing will take a step. That's that's what they do.
But I would like to ask both of y'all: is there a danger because as that machine, a robot, is gathering information, it's also writing in another code and maybe writing another language to communicate with another device. where they create their own language.
They do this all the time.
They do it all the time.
Is there a danger?
Oh, yeah, it's always a danger. That's a danger, just anything you make. I mean, it's a danger making a car shoot. Guy's drunk.
Yeah. But see,
No, I'm speaking of a danger where it gets to a point where they say, why am I serving something that is inferior to me? I'm talking about, is there progress in the technology because they're writing their own language?
Oh, yeah.
And is there a danger?
Listen, they can already outthink a man, outrun a man, outshoot a man.
Yeah.
Those things are already done. I mean, then the idea is becoming autonomous. That means they begin to think like a human and walk like a human. I mean, you know, doing the whole network. You seen what's that?
Terminator.
Terminator, right.
Yeah.
You think all that's all play?
And see, the thing about that Terminator movie, they said everything was all right till the machine became self-aware.
That's right.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Once it became self-aware, then here lies, there the plot thickens. What do I need you guys for? I keep a few around for servicing, you know, filling containers up with oil. You know, we broke, you fix it, or something like that, or we need some, you know, or something that's just for maintenance. They kept a few around, according to, like in the movies. They kept a few of us around. But the rest of us, they got rid of us. What we need you for? Even in Star Trek, that series, they had a whole planet that was a machine.
Danger, man. It's a danger.
Well, you got to remember the whole thing. It comes down to labor. Labor has always been. Why you think we came over here for labor?
That's right.
Okay. Well, that's been abolished now because they have robots. They can do that faster, quicker, no errors, no such, you know.
That's right, and precision work.
And precision work.
Now there's a candidate. I forgot his name. Is Mr. Yang is saying, and other people are saying, besides robots and computer systems are taking the jobs away that we used to have, that we should get a monthly income.
A stipend, yeah.
Stipend to supplement the job uses, the jobs that we used to have, the money that we used to make. Do you think that he is right about that? We should get a check every single month.
They're going to do that, but it won't work because for the simple reason is that you cannot pay for the average middle class person. What does it take to be middle class here in America, especially here in Chicago? What do you need in terms of income? You need between $50,000 and $60,000.
Yeah.
That's what you need here in Chicago.
Most people I know don't even make that type of money, but go ahead.
That's the point. That's the point. Okay, the reason they can pay you $50,000 or $60,000, just like Michael Jordan, well, if they paid the Negro $33 million, well, how much was he making?
Yeah.
Hell, you can't pay nobody if he ain't making no money. So then they'll give you what they're basically going to do is tax the Robux. They'll tax the Robux. Matter of fact, the first Saudi Arabia's already made a Robux the first citizen. And if you become a citizen, they got to pay taxes.
Do you think it's a good idea to give a supplementary income?
No, I don't never think that's a good idea.
If a job is being eliminated by a machine,
they should retrain you to another particular job. Man's supposed to work anyway.
That's it. That's the whole point.
The Bible says if man don't work, he don't wait. Man don't work, he don't eat.
I mean, but have y'all seen the Amazon factory where there are robots that are practically running the whole factory?
That's the point. The point is you got two things. You got a larger population, and you don't need the labor that you used to live like the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. You don't need that labor in the 70s. It's just not going to be. Those people just to maintain order. You got to do something to maintain order. Mm-hmm. You either got to kill off all them doggone folks with some type of bacterial infection or whatever, or you got to give them something to quiet them down. So you give them, say, $15,000, $20,000. Still ain't no money.
No.
And see, they still, the mind is a devil's workshop.
Yeah.
So they would do that to keep some type of peace. They don't want the people in the street all the time.
No, man. I can understand. I think something is better than that.
We're talking about in the next 5 or 6 years, 40% of the job is going to be gone in this country.
That's one of the reasons why I tell these guys all the time, if you're not going to go to college, go to a trade
school.
And you may have noticed what the school has done anyway. It dumbs you down.
That's right.
Now they got this old crazy math course called Common Core.
Man, that's the dumbest. Don't let me start cussing on the
Yeah,
show.
you don't cuss, because I'm gonna tell you,
Man, stop.
I'm looking at a young lady to figure out a problem, man, and I sat up there and almost cooked the breakfast by the time she got through.
You know what? This is going to be about artificial intelligence. And can you give people, both of y'all, that don't even know what artificial intelligence is, because y'all give y'all the basis of what artificial intelligence is?
Artificial intelligence is the ability of robots to learn what humans does, to reproduce basically most humans' interaction. You know, that's being able to read, run, everything that a human can be. So then they can outthink a human faster. All this is computer. All you gotta do is look at an android. It's a human robot, that's look like a human form, and it has the ability to learn at the same rate of a human being. You know, he can speak various languages. All this stuff is pre-programmed, and then they can learn through the interaction with computers and man.
Okay,
Yeah, because like they seem like there's some of the programs they have now, like say for instance, like we were talking like let's see, we were just talking about this particular robot they having out here now. It's going to try to replace a human soldier.
That's right.
And it's going to do any kind of these machines going to have to make the decisions on their own.
Right.
Now the danger to everybody is going to be when these machines become self-conscious.
That's right.
And available to think for themselves. And the first thing that's going to come into wherever their collective thoughts is, what do we need you humans for?
I agree. And you know what? There's a big thing going on with the United States of America. They do not want to use Huawei. I think that Huawei is a telecommunications company in China that has revolutionized 5G. 5G will make your phone faster, your computer faster. Can y'all explain 5G, and is the United States doing the right thing by not wanting to utilize this upgraded system?
That's an easy one. Say for instance, like I have 3 drones made by one single Chinese company called DJI. And one thing about it, this thing is so regulated with the government. If I try to fly with a narrow airport, it won't fly.
Okay.
It has geofencing, has GPS ranging, things like that. It won't even take off. Washington D.C., it won't even take off at all. You can forget it. And what happens is wherever this thing goes, it's always tracked.
Okay.
And I have flight records that's actually on my phone, on my computer, and they're the company headquarters in DJI to determine where this drone is. And what you're talking about, the government is scared that the Huawei, since they're a Chinese company, they're going to use them. They're going to use them actually to spy on the United States. That's the greatest fear.
No, would you think they would do that?
Yes, they would. They do it all the time.
Okay.
You'll be surprised. And the United States been exporting their technology to China for years because they're trying to get around the labor costs. And so what the Chinese did was, hey, if you're gonna send all your work over here, send us the technology to make it.
That's
and
right.
In fact, that gave them a leg up. Why should you do any research when we're gonna send it? When you're gonna give it to you?
That's right.
What's your comment about Huawei? I hope that I'm pronouncing the name right.
Yeah, well,
Well, it's a Chinese company, and the problem is national security. Excuse me. The problem is national security, and they don't want all those chips and stuff in the various American industry because they don't know exactly what's in them. So at one time, if we had to go to war, which we probably will go to war with China, ain't no question about that, just a matter of time. So they can just touch a button and you know what that means. Everything, if they'd have made the chip you don't understand the total design of what's in it. And most of the software, that means that when we go to war, well, we could sabotage you.
But when you say get the information, isn't Huawei a private company?
Yeah, it's a private company, but those chips and everything that are in everything. You got a chip in your iPhone, you got it all over.
Yeah.
And you know, and what they're looking at is 5G is really what that's all it is just microwave, low microwave. We used to have it in service. It's much higher than that. Microwave where they carry a lot of information. See, microwave is a band. You got to have a carrier band. It carries tons of information where it makes 4G look like almost like a Model T Ford.
Yeah.
You know, him being an engineer, he said they're beyond 4G. I think that's what you said.
Oh yeah, that's 5G. There we go. That was got 6G. I mean,
Well,
what's
5G, they're coming up with 6G.
6G, but 5G is what's introduced to the general public. Throughout the
Yeah,
world.
next one
And
next.
you know something, would you say that Donald Trump is right about the tariff wars with the United States, with China, that they are stealing intellectual property and manufacturing things and using Nike's name or somebody else's name to put in their system? Would you say that Donald Trump is right with the tariff wars?
They knew from Jump Street with those Chinese, they have the ability, Chinese as a culture has the ability to copy. And they're very industrial people. They don't quit. They have a long history of 1,000 years ruling in Asia.
3,000.
Yeah, thousands of years of ruling. So you're not dealing with, that makes most African nations look petty compared to what's happened in the East, because they were ruling for thousands of years. I mean, at a high technology level. We ain't talking about nobody living in no huts and running around with no spears. We're talking about high technology and metallurgy that they had. So the dragon has a means of also controlling the world. So you got two hegemony. United States, which has already been ruling the world for about, for good that's World War II. And you got the Chinese. And since we gave the Chinese the stuff for cheap labor and stuff, what they say, okay, we'll work as a slave. But we ain't gonna be like the Negro. we're gonna take all your information and we're gonna build our own factories. And then we're going to take this technology and train our engineers, and you know what? We're going to creep up on your butt.
And that's what they're going to do. And exactly, and they're doing it now.
They're doing it right now.
You got all these Chinese students in these U.S. universities. What do you think they're there for?
That's right.
And see, what China is, they have everybody in China is an agent for the Chinese government.
That's right.
They come for you. I don't care if they got billionaires, they got millionaires. China is actually a capitalist country.
That's
but
right.
They're a communist country, but they rule by capitalism. And the thing is, when they come for you, look, I want you, when you go over to the United States, send all this information back you can. And that's what they do.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time. But I would like to have y'all come back probably next month to talk about technology.
Okay.
For y'all. And please give y'all finishing information. And
we could really have some. We should really have some fun though. We should have talked about this phone I got. We were talking about the cloud, remember?
Right.
Now, how you think I get 10,000 songs on a device that only got something like so many gigs? There you go. It's up in the air.
Okay. And finishing words.
You can contact us at Play-em at 773-509-8124. Again, at 773-509-824.
We take us out. I'd like to hear y'all back notes to talk about technology.
That's okay. Whatever.
We can do that.
And watch the Underground Railroad. It comes on every Saturday night at 10:30, and we come on YouTube, and you can see these gentlemen.
All right.
And I just want to, thank y'all for accepting the invitation. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah.
And one thing you should talk about, when you start talking about technology, you don't see any of us here.
Huh?
And so you was talking about technology, robots and stuff, and you walk in there, you may see one black.